This gathering, which takes place once every 7 years, draws former residents and their families back to the Montreal neighborhood of Griffintown. They will hear the story of Mary Gallagher's murder and then watch for the return of her ghost. They will also renew acquaintances and tell stories and think about a neighborhood that, like Mary Gallagher, is a ghost of what it once was.
I am now facing the site of the St. Anne's Church.
Close to downtown Montreal, the neighborhood of Griffintown is the area between Guy and McGill and between Notre Dame and the Lachine Canal. Despite its disappearance as a viable community, it is very much alive in the memory of many.
Cowie, the butcher, sawdust on the floor, and if you went in to ask, of course, for a little liver or something for the cat, you got it for nothing.
And Tom O'Connell got out on Ottawa Street and he said, I want every one of yous now to vote for me.
I would really like to be back there. But you can take the person out of Griffintown, but you can't take Griffintown out of the person. Impossible.
But for manufacturers, Griffintown was an ideal location. Because of the Lachine Canal, which was completed in 1825, they had access to a cheap water transportation route to ship their goods to the interior of the continent.
St. Anne's Church, this was the center of Griffintown. This was our church, and this was the center of our civilization.
Well, Father Murray was a theologian, and he was an excellent teacher. And then as we grew up, he was the chaplain of the parish sodality. He taught us how to issue our newspaper, The Mary Worker, and he taught us how to conduct a meeting by parliamentary procedure. He always smoked a cigar, you know, and he wanted things done correctly.
Tell me about elections going back then. How did, was there any skullduggery?
Yes, sure.
Frank Hanley and Thomas D'Arcy McGee share more than a common Irish heritage. They both represented Griffintown as politicians.
In city politics, what was your role? What did you have to do for the people?
Feed them, clothe them, fuel in the winter time for many people at that time, in time of stress.
What was it like being Jewish in Griffintown?
Very difficult, not easy. We basically had to defend ourselves to live down here.
I've never heard of it that the Jews being molested.
We were molested, not like we were molested.
Not like the French.
No, that's right. The French really got beat up.
Religion had no part. We never fought against Catholics or Protestants. We were all Griffintowners. That was it.
You know, we were brought up, it was Griffintown, there was no place like Griffintown.
Yeah, there was
we
no
never
place.
even thought about the village or Point St. Charles, you know.
Did you think you'd live there forever?
Oh,
yeah.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I would have never moved.
How did you feel when the neighborhood broke up?
Oh, terrible.
You know, the worst day of my life was when I moved out of Griffintown. Like, I was very, very sad. We had no choice. The whole block from Notre Dame to William Street was being torn down, so we had no choice but to move.
Your friends moved out around the same time?
A lot of people. That was sort of
yeah.
the beginning of the end, except my dear friend here. I mean, she was still there another 20 years after, easily. Eh?
Yeah. But if I had a chance to go back, I would love to go back.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was no place like it. Yeah. I really loved it.